Have you ever been traveling and wanted a really fresh salad? Maybe you're in a big city and don't want to pay big city prices for a good tasting salad. Well, I have a secret. That great salad may be all around you, just waiting for you to see it and pick it. Even if you're not traveling, you can make a wonderful salad if you have just a few of these common wild plants around you. Hey, welcome to Haphazard Homestead. I'm Holly Chris. I'm glad you're here. I want to share a wonderful wild salad that I had in Washington, D.C. a while ago. It was in June, so I didn't have the abundant spring greens that make it so easy to forage a wild salad. Here's the setup. I was at a hotel. I had an orange from the fruit bowl that they have there for guests. I had a little plastic salad container with a lid and a plastic knife and fork from a working lunch that I had been at a few days before. I had a couple small bottles of drinking water, and I had an empty little snack box that had cookies in it, but I ate them earlier in the week. My goal was to take a bike ride from the hotel down to the national capital to do some sightseeing and to get my lunch along the way. In a city, one of the big concerns is where are safe places to pick. Obviously, I don't want to pick in places that are by busy roadways, but I don't want to pick by places that are heavily landscaped either. That is, where they're spraying to keep weeds out of the grass or out of the mulch beneath the trees and the shrubs in the landscape. I don't want to be picking from trees and shrubs where they've been spraying to stop insect damage either. And I don't want to be picking from places where people are walking or where they've got pets running around. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So where did I go and what plants did I find? First thing I did was go around to the back of the hotel. Nobody's doing heavy landscaping back there. In fact, they often just neglect the whole area, and there can be some good foraging in those kind of places. They're not so much waste places as they are ignored places, and that's perfect for foraging. When I went around back, I found something really great. I found some mulberry trees. What kind of mulberries? Well, they could be white mulberries, they could be red mulberries, they could be black mulberry trees, or hybrids among all of those. It's kind of hard to tell, and it doesn't really matter. What does matter is that they are not paper mulberries, which are not closely related. All mulberries have leaves that can look really different on the same tree. They can be a left mitten, they can be a right mitten, they can be a double mitten, or they can be no mitten at all. The paper mulberry, though, has young twigs that have fuzzy hairs along them, and their fruit looks completely different if you find that. I was happy to find some new leaves on the mulberry trees to use in my salad. Mulberry leaves have a nice mild flavor, whether it's the new growth in the early springtime, or in this case, when it's the new leaves coming off at the ends of the growing twigs. What I'm looking for are the leaves that are thin and tender, and they don't have any sap when you tear them apart. These leaves taste mild and are really good. Once I picked some leaves, then I focused on the fruit. I'm always surprised at how many people think that mulberry fruits are toxic. They're not. They're really great if you know how to pick them. Mulberry fruits can be a lot of different colors when they're ripe. They can be white, they can be red, they can be a purple or a deep purple, or even a black when they're ripe. It all depends on the individual tree. Even white mulberries, Morus alba, can have fruits of all different colors. The key is to look for fruits that have plumped up and just lost their shine, their sheen, kind of like in picking blackberries when you're looking for the really super sweet ripe ones. On this tree, there's fruits with a lot of different colors. You can see that the darkest one is a deep purple or almost black. That means the ripe ones are going to be that color. On this branch, I've put a star by the fruits that are going to be the most ripe and that will be perfect for a salad. The others that have some red on them are going to be a little tart. They would be great for jam or a pie. Mulberry trees with all white fruit are not as common, but boy, those white fruits are so sweet. They are so delicious if you know how to figure out which ones are really ripe. Out of the fruits on this branch, this is the one that's best. Do you see how it's more plump and not quite as shiny as the rest? It kind of looks like a little grub, but it is really delicious. And look at these fruits. I've put stars by them too. They are perfect. On white mulberry trees, the Morus alba, the ripe fruits can be any color, but they fall off the tree really easy. See the difference? That one that's really bright white, that's the ripe one. These others have a little green, they're more tight. See how it swells up when it's ripe? That's what we're looking for. See, there it fell off. That shows you it's ripe. So if you have a tree that you really want a lot of fruit from, just put a sheet down on the ground and shake the branches. You'll get a big harvest. And here's a tip about mulberry fruits. They have a stem that goes all the way through the fruit. You go ahead and eat that stem. You don't pull it out. The next thing I found was a wild grape. Like the mulberries, it doesn't really matter what species of grape it is, although I think this one is the river grape, Vitis riparia. What does matter is that the growing tips and the youngest leaves are tender and that they taste good. On this plant, the growing tendrils at the end and the young leaves tasted like really mild greens. They're not tart like the Concord grape that I have at home. I put all my mulberry fruits in that little snack box so they wouldn't get crushed. And I put my mulberry leaves and the grape leaves and grape tendrils in my little salad bowl with the lid on it. I rode my bike to the Capitol area. Along the way, I found a dandelion out in the tall grass, away from the bike path and away from where people and dogs would be. As I got closer and closer to the Capitol area, I also found some violets and wood sorrel down at the base of a tree. But that's a different story. I did not feel comfortable picking those plants for a raw salad, so I left it. And that's okay. There is nothing wrong with leaving plants where they are if the situation is not comfortable for you right then and right there. Finally, I got to my destination and stopped at a little park table to build my salad. I had picked clean and organized, but I still went through my greens to make sure that I didn't have anything mixed in there that I didn't want. You can see the big dandelion leaf that I found in the tall grass. I stripped out that center rib. That's a good trick to get rid of the bitterness in a big leaf. I have a short video that shows how to do that in more detail. I'll put the link down in the description below. I covered my greens with water to let them soak while I peeled my orange and cut it up. I rinsed my greens off really well. I used a whole bottle of drinking water to clean my greens. Then, like I usually do, I chopped my greens into small pieces so that the flavors blend and mix together really well. I added the mulberries and stirred everything up. It was hard to film this while I was holding a camera in one hand, so let's just cut to the chase and look at the final salad and get a live taste review. That was really good. I would do that any day of the week, twice on the weekend. With sliced red onion and cracked black pepper, this salad would be worth money at a restaurant. I would serve this salad to company anytime. I hope you get a chance to try a salad like this sometime. If you use grapevines and tendrils or mulberry leaves or mulberry fruit yourself, let me and everybody else know how you do it down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye.